I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to conduct this interview about ethical behavior in any organization. So, I'm Muhammad Irsyad bin Muhammad Rustam. You can call me Shaq.
Yeah, thanks.
So, I'm from Management and Science University at Malaysia.
Yep.
I'm currently taking Bachelor in Aviation Management. So,
Okay.
Before we start, can you introduce a bit of yourself?
Yeah, sure. As you said, my name is David Buskell. I'm Senior HR Business Partner here with Hastings Deering in Australia. My role is to support leaders and employees across our business to operate what we call above the line in accordance with all our policies and procedures, and to help those managers to address any issues where employees or others are operating what we call below the line, and that's exhibiting behaviours that are inappropriate or not consistent with our policies and procedures and the way we do things. So that's essentially the role I perform, along with a range of other things.
So, Hastings Deering sell, rent, and offer support and parts distribution services for CAT products, including resources, general construction, and mining, and so much more. So, over 3,500 employees across 23 business service centers. It was purchased by Sandarbi, a multinational organization and one of the world's oldest and largest cat dealer network.
Yeah, correct. We're one of the largest cat dealers in the Caterpillar family of dealerships around the world. As you said, we've got 23 branches. We mostly support mining and construction customers, large and small scale, right across our region, which includes both of Australia, New Zealand and Southeast Asia as well. So it is quite a large set of operations. It's a $3 billion US business. Headcount would be in excess of 25,000 employees across all of that region. I think in Hastings Deering alone, our headcount is in excess of 3,000 employees based in Queensland and Northern Territory in Australia alone. So it's a reasonably large enterprise, and we're there to support our customers as best we can all the time.
So the most important thing is that I'm interested in doing research about this company because its position as a market leader producing the greatest solution for their customer is based on a combination of their long heritage, their people's knowledge, and their genuine commitment to understand their customers' need. Yeah, so that's why I'm interested in doing research for my project in this company.
Sure.
So we're talking about ethical behavior.
Sure.
So it's characterized by honesty, fairness, professional in research, and scholarly activities. It also respects the dignity, diversity, and rights of individuals and group of people. David, can you briefly describe what is ethical behavior in a business environment?
Yeah, in my opinion, ethical behaviour really revolves around doing what is morally right, and I think it's also about establishing fair and full business relationships such that they can be a win-win relationship. I don't think we want to be in a position where we're winning at all cost and destroying relationships. We want our customer to win as much as we want ourselves to win from a commercial perspective. So I think it's about integrity and fairness and making sure that we do the right things for our customers and ourselves and our other stakeholders.
So ethic in workplace is the moral code that guides the behavior of employees with respect to what is right and wrong in regard to conduct and decision making. Therefore, what ethical quality do you think is the most critical in any workplace?
For me, I think integrity is the most important quality, and I define integrity as doing the right thing even when nobody is looking. So for me, it's about being professional and doing what I'm expected to do to the standard that I'm expected to do it when no one's looking. That's my test. I think as an organisation we uphold that pretty consistently. We strive to do the best for our customers and our stakeholders that we possibly can. And I'm pretty satisfied and comfortable that we do that very effectively.
Great. So it is important to understand that ethical behavior can stimulate positive employee behaviors that lead to the company growth.
Yep.
Yeah. So this company must have applied a great ethic code. So how do you make an ethic code effective?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of components to it. I think the first step is really to have a very sound business platform for doing that. So some policies and procedures that really define for our people what are the expectations that are required in performing our work and dealing with our customers and stakeholders. And then I think the next part is about leaders having the courage and consistency to model that behaviour and their own behaviours, and to not accept and challenge any behaviours that are below the line in their teams or other stakeholders that they engage with. I think that consistency is the key to delivering a great customer and employee experience across our business and for our customers and other stakeholders, including our own employees. I think that consistency from leaders is the vital ingredient that keeps all of that functioning effectively.
So, decision to act unethically by any company can strain the relationship and damage the reputation of that company. So the increased risk of reputational damage from negative headline is often the catalyst for organization to promote and encourage ethical behavior.
Yep.
So can you mention some of the guiding principle of business ethic commonly used in this company?
Yeah, it's good you mentioned reputation, because for me that's an endpoint that I work backwards from with managers and employees to try and get them to think about if we're doing things that are below the line, what consequences might apply, and if you work downstream from that towards reputational harm, I think that's an inevitable conclusion that you get to if you allow your organisation to operate unethically. So I think it's a good way of highlighting to managers and employees what are the positive things we can do to make sure that we're not on the 6 o'clock news each night or any night to highlighting us in a very negative reputational way for having done things below the line. So I think that's a real key to it, is understanding consequence to actions, and that drives in a sort of a backward sense actions to stop us doing that.
Great. So there are benefits of ethical behavior in any workplace beyond the avoidance of reputational harm. So firstly, it can increase employee performance, job satisfaction, and organizational commitment with trust. So.
Yeah, I think trust is a key thing there. We regularly survey our employees, and whilst our survey scores aren't always where we want them to be, we are improving. And I think some of the key to that is trying to improve trust in lots of different relationships across the organisation and externally as well. And I think if we can achieve that, then we're a long way towards hitting our business objectives.
Yes. Do you consider yourself to be an ethical person?
Yes, I do. I operate often in an environment where it's not defined by absolute right and absolute wrong. There's a lot of what I call grey in the middle, of ambiguity and complexity, and that's where I work. But I try to do my work and provide advice through that prism of integrity and ethical input, so that we can get to the right decisions at the end of the day.
So have you ever suffered for doing what is right, and if so, did you handle it?
Yeah, look, in my role, I unfortunately have to deal with poor performance and poor behaviour from time to time with employees and giving advice to managers. I can remember many occasions where I've given advice to managers where I don't support terminating someone's employment because simply we can't substantiate the allegations, even though managers can get frustrated at that because they've had long-term issues with this particular employee. And you know, a little bit of backlash around that, but I managed to deal with that by just referring those managers back to what risks are associated with it, risk and consequence equation. It's a really simple one for me, and just really highlighting back to our managers, are we acting in accordance with our code of business conduct and our values? If we're proposing to terminate someone's employment without substantiating those allegations, then I'd suggest that we're operating below the line, and I certainly wouldn't support that.
I see. So this is my recommendation on what can the company do to encourage ethical behavior in the workplace. So the single most important thing company can do is implement a proactive employee voice system and use voice of employee tools to proactively give employees the capacity to be heard. So there are 5 criteria for this system. Firstly is the elegance, means that be easily understood. Then accessibility, be easy to use. Correctness, be well managed and follow up complaint. Then responsiveness, so means that being used by management and they show the result. And lastly, the non-punitiveness, so means that managers and employees must be protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that aligns very nicely with the way we do things here. We've got whistleblower protections and policies in place to receive and manage complaints about unethical behaviour. There's protections in place for people that report those things, as long as they're not vexatiously reporting them. If they're legitimate and they meet the policy criteria, then you know, we will accept those as being legitimate complaints, and we'll investigate those fully and fiercely to arrive at a conclusion about whether or not we think misconduct has applied, and then take the appropriate actions from that.
I see. So I think that's all for the interview. Thank you very much, David, for your
Pleasure.
time.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.